Now let's talk about the security of Glosso wallets. Now, AI agents are always on autonomous programs that sign transactions on your behalf. That means if they need to sign transactions, they need to have access to your private key. And that's terrifying actually. Because if the key leaks to a log file, it's gone. Someone can extract it. If it ends up in the LLM context, one could extract it via prompt injection. And if it sits on your disk unencrypted via an SSH session, somebody can gain access to your keys and person on your wallet. So Glosso was designed around one principle, minimizing the surface area where this key material exists. First, we have different wallet modes, the sovereign, turnkey, and private. First, I'll start with the sovereign to show you how we implemented this principle. Now, this is the sovereign seed life cycle. Yeah. So when you call the Glosso provision, you call it first. First thing that happens is a 12-word BIP32 mnemonic is generated. That mnemonic is never displayed. It's immediately encrypted using AES 256 GCM. Once it's encrypted, we get a blob that contains a salt, IV, tag, and the ciphertext. That blob is stored in our ENV. And remember, it's derived from a passphrase using the PBKDFT with 100,000 iterations plus a 32 bytes SHA-256 salt here, ensuring safety from brute forcing. So once the blob is stored in the ENV, the private key is never stored, just the blob. Now, when it's time to sign a transaction, when the sign method is called, the first thing that happens is the blob is fetched from the ENV and is decrypted. Now, in function, when the blob is decrypted, we derive a key pair. When you derive a key pair, we derive it using the BIP44 derivation, I think the HD wallet derivation, this part you see here. So this helps us derive a wallet under the ED 25519 curve. When we derive a wallet, that wallet then signs the transaction and the mnemonic and key pair falls out, like they are garbage collected, they fall out of scope. So they never exist outside this function call per se. It's never stored on the disk, never outside, just in memory, this particular function call. So our keys are safe and they are never seen by the host system, just the blob, and the blob is also encrypted. Yeah. Then we move over to the rest. Now, some teams are very specific. They do not want the key material anywhere at all near their system. So most of them will opt for maybe private or turnkey. So private or turnkey has their own method of working, their safety mechanism. This is a diagram that shows how private and turnkey works. With private mode, we have our private key living in a private enclave, that's a secure server enclave provided by private themselves. So when the agent calls to sign, the request is sent to the private API, which is then sent to the enclave. The sign happens in the private enclave, and then the signed transaction is sent back. So the only thing the agent has access to is the app ID, maybe your private secrets, which is also stored securely. Then with this, it gets authenticated, which you can maybe make a request to the enclave. So the key never leaves the enclave, never touches the machine at all. Similar thing with the turnkey mode. Same thing, the variables are also stored, the access variables, and then don't use the HSM, that's hardware isolated stuff here. So same thing, you send a stamped request to Tonki's HSM, which in turn they send you a signed TX. So the private key also never leaves the Tonki HSM, still hardware isolated. We just send request and they authenticate and sign on our behalf. So even if the agent is fully compromised, the private key is unreachable. And that is the essence of what we built here. Remember I said the principle of Glosso is that minimize surface area where the key material exists. So in code, we can see how this was implemented here. This is the encrypt file rather. So we can see how we encrypt with the AES 256 with the passphrase. You can see social is decrypted in function call and a whole lot is used in the sovereign. Check the crypt here. You can see it fetched and used when we're trying to get key pair. So the blob is decrypted with the passphrase and we derive a wallet. And also the HD derivation helps us to have multiple wallets. So if you see our initial demo, you would see a part where you can have 4 wallets tied to a mnemonic, where maybe you have 4 wallets, maybe one for DeFi, one for DAO activities, maybe the third one for just storing your stuff. So you can have 4 wallets under a mnemonic. That's another thing sovereign or the sovereign provisioning gives to you. You can have multiple wallets under one mnemonic. Yeah, that same thing as well. So with this, our app Glosso is very secure and safe. We don't have the keys existing on the machine, never touches the machine, either in memory for sovereign, or private and turnkey that never touches the machine at all. So 3 modes, 3 security profiles, one interface, very secure and safe. So thank you.